Imagine a world where the ocean has vanished, not dried up, locked away, turned to ice and stacked 2 miles high over continents that once bloomed. The year is 24,000 BCE, the last glacial maximum. The coldest Earth has been in 100,000 years. From space, the planet looks different, whiter, smaller oceans, continents bleeding into each other where seas used to be, and somewhere, on exposed coastlines in hidden valleys, beneath rock shelters, small groups of humans huddle around fires that must not go out. This isn't the first time. They've done this before. Their grandparents did it, and their grandparents. For 20 generations of ice. Over 2 million years, Earth convulsed through at least 20 major glacial cycles, each one a planetary reset, each one an extinction filter. Mammoths adapted, Neanderthals adapted, saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, giant ground sloths. They all adapted, but we didn't. Why? The Ice Age reality. First, let's correct something. When people say Ice Age, they usually mean one event, a single freeze. That's not what happened. The Pleistocene, the last 2.6 million years, was a series of ice ages. At least 11 major glacial events. 8 strong cycles in the last 800,000 years alone. Each cycle lasted roughly 100,000 years, cold built slowly. Then, every time, something triggered a collapse back into warmth. But here's what matters for survival. The cold didn't just make things cold. During the last glacial maximum, 26,000 years ago, global temperatures dropped 4 to 7 degrees Celsius. Doesn't sound like much, it reshaped the planet. Sea levels fell 400 feet, entire ecosystems appeared. Siberia and Alaska fused into one landmass, Beringia. Southeast Asia became a supercontinent called Sundaland. And humans, who'd barely left Africa, suddenly had highways into new worlds. But migration wasn't optional. The ice didn't just block territory, it erased it. Rain stopped. Vegetation collapsed. The wind howled across what scientists call the Mammoth Steppe, a cold, dry grassland stretching from Spain to Canada. If you were a human 25,000 years ago, you had 2 options: find a refugium, a pocket of survival, a coastal zone, a valley with water, or die. And yet, humans not only survived this, they thrived through it. How? The survivors? Fire. Not just warmth, not just light. Fire was infrastructure. By 790,000 years ago, maybe earlier, Homo erectus had learned to control it. At Gesher, Benot Yaakov in Israel, layers of burned seeds and wood proved deliberate, repeated use. Fire let humans cook. Cooking unlocked calories from meat and tubers that raw eating couldn't access. More calories meant bigger brains. Bigger brains meant better problem solving. It was a feedback loop. But fire did something else. It pushed back the dark, and everything in it. And look, I know you're watching this in a heated room, on a glowing screen, probably not worried about saber-toothed cats. But if you've made it this far into a video about evolutionary survival strategy, you're exactly the kind of person who should subscribe. Just consider it. Fire alone wasn't enough. At some point, probably by 40,000 years ago, humans started sewing. Bone needles, hide clothing, layered, tailored outfits that trapped body. Heat. This isn't speculation. Archaeologists find specialized scrapers designed to process leather, cut marks that match garment construction, and needles too fine for anything but stitching. Neanderthals did this too. In fact, Neanderthals might have been better at cold. Their bodies were biological furnaces, short limbs, barrel chests, massive nasal cavities that warmed freezing air before it hit their lungs. Every inch of their frame was optimized for conserving heat, and they weren't dumb. They made birch pitch adhesive, a process requiring precise temperature control over hours. They hafted stone points to wooden spears. They built shelters from mammoth bones and hides in Siberia, some of the coldest places humans ever lived. So why did Neanderthals vanish? And we didn't. We talked. Not just communication, language, complex syntax, abstract thought. The ability to say, if we go there during this season, we'll find that animal. And here's the plan. We built networks, trade routes spanning hundreds of miles, shell beads from the coast found inland, obsidian tools far from their source. This wasn't just barter, it was social technology. Information flowed, and information is survival. An elder teaching a child to nap flint isn't just passing down a skill. It's passing down thousands of years of cumulative trial and error, generations of dead humans whose mistakes you don't have to repeat. Culture became our second genome, and it evolved faster than DNA ever could. The bottleneck. But we almost didn't make it. Around 74,000 years ago, Mount Toba, a supervolcano in Indonesia, detonated. It ejected 670 cubic miles of rock and ash into the sky. For comparison, that's 5,000 times the volume of Mount St. Helens. The eruption triggered a volcanic winter. Sunlight dimmed. Temperatures dropped. In some regions, it may have stayed cold for decades. And the human population, possibly already small, fragmented across Africa, collapsed. Genetic evidence suggests that at some point around this time, the global human population shrank to maybe 3,000 to 10,000 individuals total on the entire planet. For perspective, that's fewer people than a small town. Everyone alive today, all 8 billion of us, descends from that tiny, starving population. The Toba hypothesis is debated. Some researchers think the bottleneck happened for other reasons. Disease, climate cycles independent of the eruption. High-resolution climate records are still being excavated from lake beds and ice cores. But the genetic signature is clear. We came very close to not existing, and the survivors? They carried adaptations. TRPM8, a gene that controls how sensitive you are to cold. Populations that stayed in frigid climates show variants of this gene under strong natural selection. It's still in you. If you've ever felt that specific sharp ache when cold wind hits your skin, that's 70,000 years old. The advantage. So here's the question. If cold was the enemy, why did animals built for cold? Woolly mammoths, rhinos, cave bears die out? Why did the hairless ape win? In Australia, a 150,000-year climate record tells the story. Major environmental shifts started 70,000 years ago. Aridity intensified. Vegetation changed. But megafauna populations held steady until humans arrived around 45,000 years ago. Then, collapse. Not gradual, not climate correlated, immediate. The debate continues. Was it hunting? Habitat burning? A combination? But one pattern holds across continents. Wherever modern humans arrived, megafauna followed us into extinction within a few thousand years. Mammoths survived 500,000 years of ice ages. They couldn't survive us. Why? Because megafauna had one strategy: adapt slowly. Thick fur, massive bodies, slow reproduction. If the climate changed, evolution would, over tens of thousands of years, adjust them. Humans had a different strategy. Adapt instantly. Climate shifts, migrate, prey disappears, eat something else. Ice blocks the route, find another. We were, and still are, generalists. Not the strongest, not the fastest, not even the smartest individually. But collectively, we became a distributed intelligence network that could solve problems faster than evolution could pose them. And if that idea interests you, if you're the kind of person who thinks about systems and survival and why we're wired the way we are, then you'd probably like this channel. Just saying. The advantage wasn't biological, it was social. The legacy. Today you live in a world that ice can't touch. Heated homes, insulated walls, food shipped from the other side of the planet. You are safer from the cold than any human in history. So why does your brain still act like winter is coming? Why do you hoard resources when you have enough? Why do you fear scarcity when the fridge is full? Why does social rejection feel like death? Because 20 ice ages didn't just shape your body, they shaped your mind. Your fear system was calibrated in a world where missing a hunt meant starvation, where losing the group meant freezing, where the wrong decision could end your genetic line. You are running software written for a world of scarcity, in a world of abundance. But here's the thing about that software. It worked. 20 times the planet tried to erase us. 20 times, small groups of terrified, brilliant apes looked at an impossible world and said, "We'll find a way." And they did. We are their echo. Every time you solve a problem, every time you adapt, every time you help someone survive something hard, you are doing what they did. The ice always melts. And we're still here,